Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us all on this very special day as we acknowledge and pay tribute to a truly exceptional man and set of teachings that have impacted, influenced, and improved the lives of so many of us. This is a great honor for me to be hosting and presenting this, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining us today. Just to let you know, there will be a 10-minute intermission at approximately the 1 hour mark. What I would like to do next is I'd like to bring in Mr. Richard Tschudi, who will give us read out the proclamation of the Franz Bardon Day. And so I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Richard Tschudi.
Sound check. Can you hear okay?
Yep, sounding great.
Okay, Richard, sound check.
Yeah. Tell me when you want me to proclaim the Bardon Day.
Yep, so you can go for it now.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richard Tschudi, and I proclaim International Franz Bardon Day. This is my proclamation. This is a message to all the students of the Hermetic teacher Franz Bardon, who is well known worldwide through his 3 instructional books: Initiation into Hermetics, The Practice of Magical Evocation, and The Key to the True Kabbalah, as well through his autobiographical novel Bardon. As all of you know, Bardon, which is Franz Bardon, is a member of the Brotherhood of Light. Franz Bardon was given the task by that brotherhood to reveal the mysteries of the first 3 tarot cards to mankind. The Brotherhood of Light meets in the inner planes every year on June 23rd. This is symbolic because this is the time around the summer solstice when the sun reaches its highest point, at least in the northern hemisphere. It is the longest day and the shortest night of the year. Let me quote Franz Bardon from his autobiographical novel Bardon. The 23rd of June is a special day of the year for people all over the world. It is then that the sun reaches its highest point, the longest day and shortest night of the year. To celebrate the summer solstice, many Europeans and other peoples lit a great bonfire. The Brothers of the Light, especially those of the lower degrees, carry out the so-called St. John's invocation on this particular night. During this rite, as many as 3 wishes may be sent into the invisible astral world. These wishes are then fulfilled during the coming year, as long as they do not violate the law of karma. The ritual of St. John's mystery is a strictly kept secret among the Brothers of Light. I have been a follower of the teachings of Bardon, Franz Bardon, for many years, and I have come in contact with many people who have been helped by his teachings. Because of the high respect I have for Franz Bardon and his teachings, and because nobody has done it before me, I hereby declare June 23rd of every year from now on and until time shall be no more, International Franz Bardon Day. Let us on this day, in our own way, remember Frabato, even if we only light a candle and devote a minute of silence to him. Or we could meet with some like-minded people and have a little memorial service. Eventually, with all your help out there, we could develop our own ritual for the St. John's invocation. Because I personally do not know the exact ritual of the Brotherhood of Light. Suggestions are welcome. If anybody knows anything about the St. John's invocation, please email me. Any information would be appreciated and will be shared with others if the person that gives me the information gives me permission to do so. I welcome any feedback on this idea of an International Franz Bardon Day. Sincerely, Richard Tschudi. I thank all the Hermetic and Vajrayana masters who try to guide me towards the light. LVX Lux. Thank you, that's my proclamation.
Would you like to sit there?
Yeah.
I will put the chair here. No, just go no, come on. No. Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much, Richard. And so now we will move into the St. John's Evocation, and I will bring Richard and Clint Sabon. Welcome, Clint.
It's great to be here on this special day.
If you say something,
Thank you for being here. Okay.
The Watcher's Benediction. May those who are the great guides and guardians of humanity bless every one of us. May they find in us a willing and pliable instrument for their sacred purposes. And may they grant us the help in the benediction with which we will be able to accomplish all the things that need to be accomplished.
why are we assembled here this evening?
To commemorate the yearly meeting of the Brotherhood of Light and its patron, St. John.
Why does the Brotherhood of Light have St. John as its patron?
Because St. John dedicated his life to the task of opening the eyes of his contemporaries to the light which shineth into the darkness, and he remained faithful to his mission until death.
There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came from a witness, to bear witness to the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness to that light.
In which manner does the Brotherhood of Light celebrate his patron?
By burning a log from the past year, and by offering corn and wine, and by kindling a new fire in our hearts of our aspirations for the coming year.
Why are we burning a log from the last year?
So that the past, with its shortcomings, will not retain any link to us or hinder us as we concentrate entirely on the present and fix our attention on the beauty of the future, and thus will be guided by the wisdom of eternal light.
Why do we offer corn and wine?
Corn and wine are the symbols of the senses and spirit, and are considered by us an offering to the divine providence. We offer them to show that we are conscious beings and building stones which together form a living organism, the temple of mankind.
Second and third celebrants assist me in accomplishing this ceremony. Ask the brothers and sisters of your column to to affix a signature to the scrolls of paper which you will hand to them. Brothers and sisters, you may now add thoughts of the past which you wish to release into the purifying sacred fire. No one else will read these thoughts, for they will be consumed and transformed in the fire during the ceremony. You can just sign your name or use a symbol that has a meaning known to you alone. So we all do that now. Please let us know when you finish with your notes. Brother Orator, I ask you as the conscience of our brotherhood. Should we burn the scroll of the past year to wipe out all suffering and to remove the traces of all that disturbed our harmony, thereby creating obstacles which opposed our effort in smoothing our rough stone? If anybody has some music, they can play it, otherwise we continue.
Yes, the scroll of the past year must be burned so that all that remains of our negative experiences is a clearer vision of the days ahead. Thus, we can begin the new years with fresh courage, more intense devotion, and greater perseverance.
The ceremony which we are attending is composed of different parts, which I now explain briefly. The fire of St. John is a symbol of the divine fire, that cosmic fire which is the source of all life. It is the creator, preserver, and destroyer. The fire is in all of us. It is the sun, the planets, in humankind, in plants, in animals, in minerals. This fire is a symbol of all that lives, and has supplied for us these offerings of corn and wine. We offer corn in recognition of the material goods which we have received during this past year. We offer wine in recognition of all the energies and consolations we received during this past year. In this fire, we are also burned the scroll, a symbol of the book of nature's memory. Then by depositing our names in the fire, we will transform all our thoughts, desires, thoughts, and deeds of the past. From the ashes we will be resurrected like the phoenix. Only that which is eternal and positive in our thoughts, in our words, and our actions. In other words, the new year will bring us only the fruits of good deeds done in the past. To the strength we gain from this ceremony, we will grow in wisdom, and every trace of past misdeeds will disappear. All quarrels and animosities which have disturbed the harmony between us will vanish, and the smoke in the night air, and we will renew our efforts to erase all that is contrary in us with the evolution of mankind. Finally, we clasp hands and form the fraternal chain, symbol of union and unity. We will be united in our individual and moral and spiritual development. We will be united in promoting a just peace between people of nations. So, unite.
Ever present Son, irreplaceable, overseer and organizer of all life, Son of the Lord of creation, send forth your rays, bring forth your light. I meditate on your light. This life, which is in the universe, is also within me. It is part of me. As the body returns to ashes, the breath merges with grand mortal breath. Immortal and divine spirit, which is both within and without. Divine spirit, remind us of all past good deeds. Divine fire, lead us to immortality by the path of illumination. Divine spirit, which knows all the secrets of our lives, uproot our most insidious faults, hidden by our ignorance. Son, immortal spirit, eternal light, we salute you. We salute you.
You have to say, yeah, next page. I offer this corn, symbol and recognition of the good things which we received during this year. I offer this wine, symbol and recognition of the pure spiritual teachings which we received during this year. So now you give me your. So wherever you are, now we're gonna burn what you wrote on the paper. Divine Providence. On these scrolls are inscribed our names, our words, thoughts, and deeds of the past year. Help us in our efforts to eliminate all which is contrary to our evolution. Sacred fire of St. John consumes these papers, and this is symbolic of our liberation from all that paralyzed our efforts towards the light. Brothers and sisters, let us again form the fraternal chain, united by this symbol of union of the brotherhood of life. We realize that the chain only exists by the grace of each link, of which it is formed, dissolved and reformed annually on such an auspicious occasion. Let us strengthen in our resolve to tread the path towards the light together. The unity of our chain represents the union of all those chains which have been formed annually in the years. So where whoever is together should form a chain. So we imagine we are in a chain with all the brothers spread all over the world. And let me recite this. Therefore, let us recall both Holy St. John and Fra Bardon the magician. Tonight, we are linked to them as they are linked to us in one indivisible chain of brothers and sisters of the light. By our efforts in the days ahead, this fraternal chain will radiant luster in the future, and as the work of our heart manifests our individual radiance, will reflect the great light. Let us join in the promise to be faithful to the bonds which unite us this evening, to respect each other and to act as beacons of the path of all who seek the light on this and every future eve of St. John's Day in the summer. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So when I wrote this proclamation, it's actually exactly 20 years ago. So this is the first time we are united in several countries, which I appreciate.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, gentlemen. A beautiful moment shared. I would now like to bring forward a video from Andre Conscientia. And this video was read and recorded for all of us to listen to. So I will put this up now and we will listen to this.
May those who are the great guides and guardians of humanity bless every one of us. May they find in us a willing and pliable instrument for their sacred purposes. And may they grant us the help and the benediction with which we will be able to accomplish all the things that need to be accomplished. First and foremost, Happy International Franz Bardon Day. And Happy St. John's Day. To contribute to this celebration, I would like to start by talking of who Saint John or John the Baptist actually is or was. Who does Saint John represent? We can look at his iconography for that, and biblical references, of course. As a baby, Saint John appears to be lifted up and touched first by the so-called Virgin Mary. Now, the Virgin Mary is the Christian version of Isis. And Isis, among other things, among being the archetype of the mother and of Mother Nature, is the one that can manifest the spirit to the Egyptians, to the ancient Egyptians. She was the patron of magic. And in nature, I find the Holy Spirit, and this makes sense in the context of Isis and in the benediction of the Virgin Mary. So we are here, we have an indication that John was embraced by the Holy Spirit, the force that moves this world and that gives harmony to nature. So in in these earlier depictions of John and his birth, we have often the cups and the plates, the mystery of the Eucharist, of the spiritualization, of refinement, and we will see this in John constantly. As a boy, we see him first. I'd like to mention we see him with camel skin, wearing camel skin. Now the camel, for the Hebrews, represented the cosmic letter Gimel. And this is the letter that creates a path from Keter, or in the Franz Bardon tradition, Net, and Tiferet, or the sun, which also means between the camel bridges, builds a bridge between the Father and the Son. And John the Baptist, growing in the desert, which is also a symbol of this journey. He grew in the desert and lived in the desert all his life, and was an adept then of the Ibis order, because only love knows how to marry the desert. No one can survive there otherwise. The desert is also the place on earth that opens up to the cosmos. And this place between Keter and Tiferet, this place that traverses from one to the other, is letting go of individuality into universality, or the universe becoming individual. In the case of John, he was opening the room for the Son, from the Father to the Son. And it is interesting as well that sometimes we see him with a peer that has the map of the world, which means we see him holding the map of the world as a child, which means through the fire of John, the expansive fire of John, he has spiritual responsibility over the evolution of the earth zone and power over the zone guarding the earth. But you see him as well as a child, wearing his camel skin, holding a cross and a lamb. Now this is the known symbol of, or analogy of, the rose and the cross. The cross symbolizes contraction, neutralization, the coagula, and the rose is expansion, dissolution into the divine. And these two are happening at the same time. The lamb is the cosmic fire of expansion, the expansion of consciousness, and it is our protection. Why the lamb, the blood of the lamb, and the spilled blood of the lamb also, it symbolizes the elixir that comes from the conjunction of the cross and the lamb. So the Hebrews would put lamb blood on their doors for protection from any evil spirits. And Christ is considered the Holy Lamb as well, will protect humanity from all sin. Then, as John the Baptist grows, but still a young man, he is seen wearing the outfits of the prophet Elijah. Now Elijah is known to bring the fires from the heavens down into the earth, and the Baptist is considered to be Elijah reborn. Elijah, one of the earlier prophets, and John the Baptist, the last known prophet in the Christian Bible. Now, we see this fire coming to the river Jordan when the Baptist is baptizing in the river Jordan. Now Jordan, I don't know if you know this, but Jordan means, it means a place where to descend, place of descent. This is where where the Spirit descends. Okay, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Fire, and he baptized in the water through the fire. It is said that the waters themselves got healed when John baptized Christ, or Jesus. So this is a metaphor for the the sense of descent in itself being healed, and the leveling up of all components of consciousness and world, represented by the pardoning of all sins brought about by Jesus Christ. We see when John's head is severed, we see again the symbol of this crossing, which is in many occult circles called the crossing of the abyss. Means the so-called extrasolar regions from Saturn onwards. Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. So these regions that are far from our sense of identity or structure, and closer to God. And it is said that to cross into these regions, one cannot do it with the mind and with the intellect. One must be utterly silent and deliver even our intellect, our spirit, to God. Why? Jesus Christ said, God, why have you abandoned me? So it is symbolized often through the symbol of the headless God, or the severed head of the prophet. This is, he got his head severed by Salome, another symbol for nature and for Saturn. It is interesting that John the Baptist has aspects of Uranus, of that cosmic fire that descends, but also of Saturn. Now to the party itself, to the festivity. It is said that the mother of John I don't know if I finished, but yes, the severed head and again the intervention of Isis, now as Salome, represents the ascent of the fire, while before we were always looking at the descent of the fire in the context of John. Now, in the festivity, the fire is justified by Christian belief and popular Christian belief as the mother of John lighting a large bonfire to announce to the Virgin Mary the birth of the Baptist. It is clear that it is clear for a magician that thinks metaphorically and symbolically that this fire itself is John the Baptist, or at least the spirit that descends with John. And it being announced to the Virgin Mary is the reception of the Spirit in the world manifested by God, moved by the breath of God. I am from Portugal, in the Iberian Peninsula, and it is said that St. John's Day springs from this peninsula, Portugal and Spain, even before they were Portugal and Spain. During the pagan times, and it is the summer solstice, of course. Here in Portugal, we do jump. We light bonfires and we jump to the bonfires. We jump to the fire. This is one of the tradition. One of the aspects of the tradition. We also use chestnuts. And it is interesting, as I explore this a lot in my book, The Lusitanian Grimoire, that the chestnuts represent heads, and they did represent heads in earlier pagan times around the Iberian Peninsula. It was a cheaper way to have the heads symbolized. You didn't have to have the actual skulls or the pumpkins. The head represents the spirit, but again we see an analogy between the severed head of John the Baptist, the spirit that ascends and drops the body, and the chestnuts, even before Christianity had ever touched this place. Now, the fire, jumping to the fire. Now, the fire is the subtlest of the elements, and through this element we achieve the spiritual realm in the Bardon tradition called the Akasha. And during our pagan times, when we jumped to the fire, we were traversing to this other side of the fire. We see it as fire here, and on the other side it is the Akasha. Okay, it's like a veil. So it is a spirit world. And it was common in ancient times here to have this veil being traversed. So it was actually one of the problems of Christianity in here to explain that the return of Jesus Christ in the flesh after his crucifixion made him divine, and divine above all prophets, because in here having people traverse from the world of the dead to the world of the living, or the other way around, was quite common. So when we jump to the spiritual world, to this homogeneous place of pure awareness that is common to every one of us, we enter contact with our ancestors and with our future children, for instance. So to the whole brotherhood, actually, because in ancient times brotherhood family was sacred, and now we are speaking in the context of Franz Bardon, we are speaking of a brotherhood of light. When I was at Fraternitas Hermetica, we celebrated this day, and we would gather together, physically and spiritually, Then, when it ended, me and my initiator kept reuniting with one another and others in the Franz Bardon tradition through the inner sanctum of the Rosicrucian order, Amor, of which we too belonged to. And later we realized that the Brotherhood of Light, the Brotherhood of Light actually represents many of the intelligences given to us at Franz Bardon's book, The Practice of Magical Evocation. We have a superior member, 1, then we have 12 in the next grade, then 72, then 360. It is clear that 1 belongs to Neptune, 12 to Jupiter, 72 to Mercury, and the 360 to the zone guarding the Earth. And also, this is notice that between Neptune and Jupiter you have Uranus, Saturn, Pluto, and between Jupiter and Mercury you have Mars, the Sun, and Venus. You have here are given 2 triads, and between Mercury and the zone guarding the Earth you have the Moon zone, whose number is 9, the triple triad. So this means that these grades, the grade corresponding to Neptune, holds power over the trinity below it, Jupiter the same, and Mercury the same. The whole order, or cosmic chain, or at least solar cosmic chain, is represented here in the Brotherhood of Light. And the Brotherhood of Light is exposed to us in the practice of magical evocation. So me and my initiator started doing conjurations, that in this day conjurations that included all these spirits, all these intelligences, not evocations but conjurations, connecting our aura to theirs in the Akashic realm, and constructing in ourselves the aura of the Brotherhood of Light and the cosmic structure of intelligence. Notice also that if you sum all the members of the Brotherhood of Light, you get the number 445, which in Hebrew means God has been gracious. The word is Elana, and I think, at least as far as I know, that it is the only word that sums to 445. It is a number of the mercy and grace of God manifested in the Brotherhood of Light. To finish, and because again, let's speak of or reference John the Baptist. He was the one to reveal the light, and the light was Christ. Just as the fire reveals the light. Fire isn't light, fire reveals the light. And now I am going to do a conjuration, more or less in the likeness of what I and my initiator did, but solely focused on the element of fire, to light a bonfire here for us. This conjuration appears in Corpus Hermeticum by him, Magnus Sarmax. This book is actually made from his teachings to me. I will not describe the whole thing, as this video is already long as it is. The known and unknown, all is mind, soul, physical and material. The force of the highest supreme is now absolutely manifest in me and in the whole universe. Known and unknown, which is mind, emotion, physical and material. I invoke my true macrocosmic universal fire here and now, at this moment implanted and reintegrated absolutely in me with his maximum blessing and strength, manifesting his highest high power. Evisul, Nergal, Apollo, Shamash, Amaterasu, Agnayi, Aibeau, Haudarani, Brigitte, Kaya Caesilia, Shantico, Freya, Punchi, Gabicha, Hestia, Ida, Itza, Papalotl, Lich, Mahuika, Nanto Suelta, Hoya, Hoyena, Maria, Pele, Sekmet, Satamater, Vesta, Mamam Brigitte, Ra, Sekmet, Wachet, Hagnju, Ayau, Ogun, Hoya, Shango, Zurong, Hagnea, Agnila, Makara, Yothi, Matarizvan, Yuan Zin, Amaterazu, Kaguchuchi, Conchi, Architengri, Atkan, Yal Unke, Turkman, Kukurang, Lalahon, Alas Ot, Yezi Ut, Vutami, Yate, Alpan, Leskin, Dagestanyan, Horsar, Harije, Viniguashe, Velenos, Granus, Nanto Suelta, Setlans, Kamar, Hepasestus, Hestia, Mihanki, Dis, Tipatis, Gabicha, Jagaubis, Mutero, Gabija, Belen, Gabicha, Paurime, Troti, Tochas, Kibichu, Glochi, Kaka, Kakus, Formax, Satamater, Vesta, Vulcan, Adranus, Dasbog, Krensik, Ogniena Maria, Peklenx, Svarox, Vorozik, Sishat, Molok, Shapash, Arinitigra, Tibil, Ishum, Shamash, Nusku, Chantiko, Coatliku, Mixquatl, Tonatiu, Yude, Kudliansan, Ate wari hurakan jakoits tohil mang hapak keri bere oa irturoda mawea mawikan gamanawa Rasi Hosi Mikael Rukiel Samuel Samax Haral Galsdael Mikael Nardiel Uratapal Varkan Tusandan Sinabal Bilet Misabu Abuzaha Gabriel Madiel Diamiel Janael Sachiel Zaniel Habayel Bakanael Korabayel Mael Wael Balum Baliel Balai Umatrao Kuraniel Avriel Arkiel Anuanail Vetuel Kamtam Hazer Al-Mazhab Abatibach Al-Amar Abu Morris Agni Jin Firon Hafif Horvi Hitomo Koloman Tafel Wariman Taful Trimila Haisu Shemiga Admofi Tibaza Adrola Tebriza Aptosi Samael Satael Ambiel Lucifer Adramalek Karmax Ismoli Pafra Friagna Guael Gamael Kalsas Aragon Lama Astagna Lokin Sonkas Jazer Isael Irel Rahumel Iniel Raiel Serafiel Matiel Frasiel Sakriel Janiel Galdel Ozael Vianuel Zaliel May the light be manifested by the fire. May the light be manifested by the fire. May the light be manifested by the fire.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Andre for that wonderful reading. We will now take a 10-minute intermission and we will return shortly. Look forward to seeing you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you once again for joining us on this very special day. I would now like to bring forward members from the Franz Bardon community to share their stories and the impact and value that they have taken from discovering and interacting and working through the various works of Franz Bardon. And so, first of all, I would like to bring to the table Mr. Philip Harris-Smith.
Hello.
Hello.
So when we read, for example, Franz Bardon's novel Frabato, one of the things that is explained in that story is that the leader of the Brotherhood of Light, Urgaya, whom some call Metatron, who was Enoch, who walked with God and was not, gave Franz Bardon a specific task to give this hermetic information to everybody. And this occurred because of all the suffering, primarily due to the First and Second World Wars, and that there was a crying out that the wisdom that had been lost was not accessible, and people had gone through a great deal, and for this reason, Franz Bardon was given the mission to bring back to us some of the lost hermetic wisdom, which he has done. And for myself, I can say that many of the practical exercises that can be found in Franz Bardon have offered me an understanding and realization that I didn't really find in other kinds of magical work. But of course, it's up to each individual to discover that for themselves. And I wouldn't like to say what people should or shouldn't do. I can only really point out that this was what Bardon wrote, both in his instructional volumes and in the novel, that this information is unusual, and that I think that that is true. I could go on a great deal, but I think that in essence is the core part of it, that Bardon gave us a solo scheme of training, which could well be the first time in human history that these hermetic mysteries are actually put into that format, as opposed to a mystery school where people might have gone to in classical times. So it's very significant and unusual, and I invite anyone to read through his material and judge for themselves. I look forward very much to hearing what other people have to offer this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip. I appreciate your very well-placed words here. Thank you. I would now like to bring forward Antonio Esposito to speak.
Hi guys. First of all, I want to thank you for the setting up of this great opportunity of meeting for so many Bardonists as we are. Considering that I find difficult having a long talk in English as a non-native speaker, I prefer getting immediately to the practical part with a blessing. I prepared a blessed water for obvious reason I will not splash on my screen, but symbolically I will use it for blessing you all. I did nothing on the water itself, neither condensed any energy or element. I simply asked to Jesus to bless the water for me, as I do all years at the St. John Eve. In the case some would prefer not to receive some blessing, please inform me, raise your hand or whatever. I hope you will enjoy this short moment together. Sorry for the packaging, it was of my kids, but it's useful also for blessing needs. May these symbolical water drops bless we all for the following year, help us getting our spiritual results and improving our behaving as a junior brethren of light. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Antonio. I would now like to bring forward Clint Sabol.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to all who are still with us right now. And on this blessed day, I remember Bardon's blueprint that he gave me for the cosmos, that he gave me for magical training, that he gave me for all. And I'd like to commemorate that with something I wrote in just the past 5 minutes, inspired by Andre's video. And so it was, and so it is, and so it shall be, on this day of both death and rebirth. We have traversed our worlds in this life, in past lives, and in this moment, like every moment, the one moment that is the whole universe, the great here now. The procession of parades and cloisters of all mystics rested, danced, and sang in the same moment we are living in now, the universe passing through automatically, the one moment that is indeed Father Time. Our ancestors stand with us, at our back, at your back, and we speak as they speak, the ancestors all around gathering us, battling with us in a time in the world filled with so much darkness and chaos. We bring light with Master Bardon forever, world without end. In the name of Jesus Christ, blessed be, so mote it be. And I could, of course, wrap out in stream of consciousness all day, but I will end it there. And I wish you all many blessings in the next year.
Thank you, Clint. Wonderful. I would like to bring forward now Sin and Richard Tschudi.
I don't want to say anything. Oh,
Richard says he doesn't want to say anything. I just want to kick it off right up and say thank you so much from the bottom of both our hearts, particularly this man's heart, to Victoria and Phil. You guys have done an absolutely fantastic job. This is beyond heartwarming to see how you put this together, how you've gathered the people here, and everything that you've done to make this day special. I've only known Richard for, I don't know, about close to 15 years now, but since we've known each other, we've been doing this every year, usually at my place, pretty much. And it's very special to see this evolving, to see this growing, to see the continuation of the Hermetic tradition. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to just talk about a little bit today, is just, really how valuable and how powerful the Hermetic tradition is to all of us. I think every one of us here today knows the power of transformation that Hermeticism has brought to our lives, how much it has changed and transformed us, and just the value of carrying this tradition on. And, we all talk about the golden chain, and really it goes back to antiquity. As far as I've been able to trace, even before St. John's, I found it very apt that Richard chose St. John's Eve, from the book, and decided to make it the day, because it dates all the way back. St. John was the initiator of Jesus into a baptismal cult, a water cult that goes all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia, where their wisdom came through a line of priests called the Ashipu. who said that they derived their knowledge before the flood. And this was echoed all the way up until Alexander the Great marched into the gates of Babylon, where Sumerian was still the spoken religious language. And then cascaded all the way through time, through Haran, all the way up through Greece. You know, these teachings have been carried on and on and on from time immemorial. But it's all these different flavors, right? Before all befores, from ancient to modern, you know, we're living now. And it's seeing these modern manifestations that really drive the value of that. And when we look at the diaspora of Hermetic teachings, the one thing that Richard instilled in me very early on, because, you know, by the time we had encountered, I was already well on, and, you know, my career in other Hermetic orders, Golden Dawn, this, that, whatever. I'm not going to go into the resume, but I had bumped into Bardon much, much later. And of course, when you're looking at it through the lens of a later period, after you've been studying Hermeticism for a while, you know, the lens looks at it being like, well, these teachings are somewhat simple. There's flavors and variations of it. I just remember being a younger man and looking at it through that kind of lens. And then I remember Richard telling me the one time, and this is something that's always stuck with me. Over in the West, everything is in English. Our flavors of Hermeticism, whether they be Golden Dawn, derivatives thereof, Rosicrucianism, all these different things, almost all of what's been written, we have a banquet of available options for us to read. But over in Europe, these weren't available in English. So for most people, Richard particularly, growing up, searching for the light, Bardon was their first book. It was the first time they got a glimpse of true Hermeticism, and through that lens, it changed my viewpoint entirely on just the power of all of the different streams of Hermetic teachings, but particularly this one, because it has such a unique flavor to it. And it shaped many modern orders, even older orders that don't exist so much. Orders like the Fraternitas Saturni and various other Hermetic offshoots that are, you know, over in Europe. But this was the first book that a lot of these people read. These were the first teachings that they got on Hermetic light. So when we look at our ability to carry on these traditions, to be able to share that transformation, that wisdom that we gain from the Hermetic tradition, you know, we look to the people that have carried the torch. And Bardon was one of those people that carried the torch. Seems a little unfair sometimes that some of the other, you know, the big people, McGregor Mathers, you know, Austin Spare, Aleister Crowley, of course, you know what I mean? Oh, these guys got all the big publicity, but Franz Bardon seems to not actually get as recognized in many circles as much. Because I think the understanding is not there of the impact that he had. The language in which he wrote, and the people who he first touched. And this is actually the true power of Hermeticism. This is what we carry on day to day. This is the golden chain. So that's why I think, again, I want to thank, again, Victoria, Phil, amazing job. This is a continuity of another stream of the Hermetic tradition. I'm glad that we're bringing it to the forefront. I'm glad we have the capacity to share this with so many people in the way that we are doing today. And I hope that we continue to do this every year with new insights, new inspirations, and transformation with the ritual that we did tonight, allowing us to cleanse ourselves into the coming year. See everybody next year, I hope. Thank you again.
Wonderful. What a beautiful commentary there. Thank you so much to Sin and Richard Tschudi. I would now like to bring forward Victoria Amadea to speak.
Hi, thank you everyone for participating, whether you're watching live or you're watching a recording afterwards. And first, I want to give an acknowledgement to Richard Tschudi, because this day was first established when he wrote his proclamation 20 years ago. And thanks to the development of technology, and we are able to come together as a community, learn from one another, celebrate Franz Bardon, and also host the first live stream of International Franz Bardon Day. To start, I want to read an excerpt from Initiation into Hermetics. And this is the foreword by Oti Vodavova, who was Franz Bardon's personal secretary. There is no doubt that everyone who has been searching for the true and authentic cognition in vain looked around for years, if not even for a lifetime, to find a reliable method of training. The ardent desire for this noble aim made people again and again collect in massive books from near and far, supposed to be the best ones, but which were lacking a great deal for real practice. Not one, however, of all the seekers could make any sense from all the stuff collected in the course of time. And the goal aimed at so fervently vanished more and more in nebulous distances. Provided the one or the other did start to work on the progress after instruction so highly praised, his goodwill and diligence never saw any satisfactory results. Apart from that, nobody could reliably answer to his pressing questions, whether or not just the way he had selected was the correct one for his individual case. Just at this time, divine providence decided to help all those seekers who have been searching with tough endurance to find means and ways for their spiritual development. Through this book, universal methods are given into the hands of mankind by a high initiate who was chosen by divine providence for this special task. Franz Bardon's system is amazing, and I'm so grateful that I was able to come across it. After exploring several different esoteric systems, it's a genuine system where it puts the power of your development, your cultivation, your ascension in your own hands. He provides you with a lifetime of work, lifetimes of work. And I'm also grateful to the wonderful Franz Bardon community that has been budding and building over several years, and all the many contributors, whether they're here on the screen today during the recording or making other contributions elsewhere. It's a fantastic time that we are here alive now because we have Franz Bardon's works, and we are able to give people more resources. We are able to reach out and connect with one another. As was in the St. John's Evocation, we can form a chain of light with one another as we continue to work on ourselves. Thank you so much for participating. And again, thank you so much to Richard for creating this day and making all of this happen.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Another wonderful reading. So many beautiful tributes tonight. I would now like to bring forward a pre-recorded video from Tanya Robinson at Falcon Books Publishing.
Dedicated to celebrating the profound. Welcome to Franz Bardon's International Day, a day dedicated to celebrating the profound teachings and legacy of Franz Bardon. Hello, my name is Tanya Robinson, and I've been a dedicated practitioner now for 16 years. I'm honoured to share this special day with you. Franz Bardon was a remarkable teacher and mystic who's touched countless lives in his teachings on Hermeticism, self-mastery and spiritual development, and provided us with a roadmap for those seeking deeper understanding and enlightenment. For the past 16 years, I have immersed myself in Franz Bardon's teachings and finding profound wisdom and guidance in his work. This journey has been transformative, and it's led me on a mission that is very close to my own heart. I've dedicated my life to publishing the works of Franz Bardon of practitioners for this community. Through Falcon Books Publishing, we strive to bring forth insights and experience and knowledge of those who have walked this path, and sharing their knowledge and helping others to find their own way. So today I want to take a moment to thank all our authors, and your dedication to this path and your willingness to share your wisdom has been invaluable. Your contributions to keep Franz Bardon's legacy alive and thriving. To our readers, I want to thank you for your support and for being a part of this community. Your interest and commitment to these teachings inspire us and to continue our work. On this Franz Bardon International Day, let's celebrate the teachings that have brought us together. Let's honour the journey in self-discovery and spiritual growth. Let's look forward to continuing the path together as a community on the united wisdom of Franz Bardon. Before I end this, I'd like to take a quote from Initiation into Hermetics, and something that has inspired me, that even though we go through many challenges in our life and sometimes tested to the limit, there's also always a guiding light, and whenever you start this path you'll always be on it. And so I'd like to quote here from Franz Bardon in his own words on this subject. When you've entered onto the path of initiation, you do not have to change your ideology regarding religion, because true religion is actually the practice of initiation as described here. And any religion can be brought into harmony with the system of initiation. However, before you decide to enter onto this path of true initiation, examine yourself as to whether you consider true initiation is a religion you wish to practice as your own life's work, which you can fulfill regardless of all obstacles and difficulties that you will encounter, and whether you will never leave this path once you are on it. You have to consider it as a foregone conclusion that an almost superhuman amount of perseverance and patience and tenacious will and reticence about your progress are prerequisitions. I wish you success and divine blessings to all readers who have chosen this course of instruction as their guide in order to perfect themselves. Franz Bardon. And I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. A beautiful reading. I would now like to bring Richard Tschudi back to the presentation stage for some comments.
Hi everybody. I'm flabbergasted how great this show we put on this afternoon was, and many thanks to Victoria. The work she puts in and organized everything, I couldn't have done it, definitely not. And I grew up in Switzerland, normal life, middle class family, went to school, but I tell you, I never was really satisfied in life. Going to work and save money, or maybe buy a house or buy a new car, get married, this and that. And I always had occult interests, but books, serious occult books, were hard to get in Europe at that time. But then somehow this adept from Czechoslovakia wrote a book, and there was a publisher in Europe, in Germany, that had it translated and published it. And I bought it. It was called The Weg zum wahren Adepten, the way of a true adept. They changed the title then Initiation into Hermetics in America. And when I read the book one time, it was as if an atomic explosion happened in my head and in my aura. I was instantly transformed, and I decided to devote my life to spiritual studies. And I wrote letters to all the people, that I found out were involved with Franz Bardon, and we had meetings and we talked, and eventually I decided to emigrate to Canada, but of course I took my books with me, and I always practiced those exercises and tried other people to be interested in, and I decided I have to promote Franz Bardon. That's why I wrote that proclamation, and it's the best thing that happened to my life. That's all I can say, and I think he transformed many people's life tremendously, like even the people I met today online, Andre, etc., Clint, everybody. And I'm just flabbergasted, and I'm very happy. That's all I'm able to say right now.
The book you brought?
Oh, yeah. I just want to mention something. There is a German guy that moved to the United States, and he is an artist, but he also, you might have heard of him. Who heard about Hermetic League Publishing?
They can't respond.
Did you hear me?
They can't respond.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. Yes. No, we can hear you. Yep.
Oh yeah. So and he translated books from a German publisher, and that it was not the original publisher. They got some material from after the Iron Curtain fell. Some students of Franz Bardon in Prague were able to leave the Iron Curtain and move to Germany, and they brought some manuscript. And one of the manuscripts that they brought with them, they actually studied with Franz Bardon, and it's called Talismanology, Mantra Lore, according to Franz Bardon. And then that's some part of the book. The second part is called Mimicry Formulas, Kabbalah, that might interest us, and St. John's Invocation. And in this book, page 34, it starts St. John's Invocation. As Franz Bardon said in Frabato, on St. John's Eve, the high adepts, they meet in the astral plane or in a mental plane, and they have their conference each year, talk things over about the future of the planet. But then the lower initiates, they had the St. John's Invocation, and it's actually published in this book. It's called The Ritual of Picking Bracken Fern on the Eve of St. John's. And this is a special fern they have to pick, and then they do some kind of a ritual going in circles. It's all in details. I didn't know when I wrote the application about this book. It's called, Leading the Ritual, Leaving the Ritual. And so I did a more hermetic proclamation. But in case anybody is interested, you can go www.hermeticleague.com. And they have all kinds of esoteric books about Franz Bardon there. Maybe the publisher is not well known yet today. And also, I want to recommend other book by Tobias Churton. And I'm sure many of you occult readers know this author. He's an excellent author about the mystical themes. It's called The Mystical Life of John the Baptist. It's a really excellent book, and it will fit what we discussed this evening. So thank you very much for listening. I'm really happy how everything turns out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Richard, and I appreciate all the effort and everything you've put in to help to create this day and organize this event. Thank you, brother.
Okay, but the main person is our friend in California.
Oh yes, she's wonderful. Thank you so much, Richard.
Oh, welcome.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. I now have a video, pre-recorded video to share from Martin Fox.
Hey there. My name's Martin Fox, and it's an honour to be joining everyone today to celebrate the life and works of Franz Bardon on the longest day in the year, the summer solstice, when the sun is at its brightest and most powerful. Now, this day is not just beautifully apposite because the Brothers of Light themselves celebrate this day, and of course we know that Bardon took part in these celebrations, but also because I believe the works of Franz Bardon are the greatest light, in the sense that I do not believe there have ever been works published which are more clear and allow for a better understanding. Indeed, Franz Bardon himself says as much, and my experience has shown this to be true. Now, the light shines for everyone who's willing to receive it, but reading the works of Franz Bardon, you'll find that your own level of maturity changes what you can and can't see. So it's my honest recommendation that you read the book that you're currently working on every year, and that you follow the instructions absolutely to the letter, without making any excuses or any equivocation, reservation, or deviation in any way. Often you'll see things and you won't think they're valuable or understand the reasons for them until many years later, when you're now mature enough, you've developed enough to be able to understand. Your diligence will be rewarded. Many times in your path, you'll feel like you need to let go of something in order to be able to fully dedicate yourself to your practice. But let me reassure you that whatever you feel you're sacrificing will come back in a better form, a more healthy, balanced, positive form. I can honestly say that following these teachings has led to all my dreams coming true as a side effect of the development that these practices bestow. It is my sincere wish, my blessing to you on this St. John's Day, that the light that shines from these works brings you the blessings that they can bestow.
Another wonderful reading. Thank you so much, Martin. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been involved in organizing this wonderful event. And there has been some great works involved in bringing people together, organization, and many hours and communications with people. And I want to say a massive thank you to we're very lucky to have this wonderful lady in our community, Victoria Amadea. And this has been a very special moment for myself to be representing and hosting this event. And I'm so grateful. And I feel truly honored that I would be asked by longstanding members to, facilitate this. And it's a very humbling experience. So thank you. Now, I'd like to just end this live stream by saying thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you to everyone that's contributed. Thank you to the wonderful Richard Tschudi for all the work that he's done. And I would just like to just share a short commentary from myself on this wonderful book and the complete teachings, I must say. But I just want to highlight from my background as a community serviceman, working in my local community with people young and old, as a teacher, as a music teacher, and now as a Reiki practitioner. This body of works has given me great insight and developed within me greater capacity to be of greater service, and continues to do so. The opportunity that lies within this exceptional collection of exercises and this development pathway cannot be underestimated. Where I am in the world, in New Zealand, we are experiencing the winter solstice. And this is a time of darkness. And I am aware of this in my community as well. There is a direct reflection. And so I step out into my village and I walk and I speak to people, and this developed version of myself, which has come about by exploring this vast array of teachings. I seek to present the best version of myself as best as I can. And this book has been so crucial in helping me to help others as much as I can. And so I want to say thank you so much to the wonderful community that is formed and forming, and the people who step forward and bring themselves forward in whatever manner that they do to share these works, to make these works more prolific so that more people it's easier for them to find them. Much like what was said earlier, we truly have a banquet. We have the internet, and we have a community of support, very supportive, wonderful people, creative people. And it's such a treasure, and it's such a wonderful time now. These teachings seem to have found another moment in time where they are proliferating, in a sense. And for this, I am truly grateful. And in closing, I would like to say thank you to Franz Bardon himself for his great legacy, this incredible system that is so deep, rich, wide. There is so much to learn and draw from. And as Martin said, let us keep rereading the material so that we may link with the original spirit of the reason why these teachings were out there. And I really have not much more to say except thank you to everyone. Thank you to the Bardon family. Thank you to the publishers. Thank you to the people that are involved in keeping these teachings alive and well in the minds of everybody. And thank you to the people that make the platforms available for us to be able to share these teachings. In light, I wish you all a beautiful day and enjoy this day. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Stay well.
Thank you.